Hi there, Jeff Bonham here. Just wanted to send this quick video out. One question I get a lot of times is about how should I price my home, especially in a seller's market where the inventory is low and things are moving pretty fast. I'll get questions like, should I price it way ahead of the trends, so I make sure to maximize my dollar? Should I price it more aggressively to try and drive the price up in a bidding war? Should I leave room for negotiations? Well, let's address all of these things because a seller's market, especially the one we're in right now, is a very interesting market. As a matter of fact, it's a market unlike one I've seen. I've seen a lot of markets. I've been in this business now since 1996, so you can only imagine the cycles that I've been through and survived. And one thing that I've always prided myself on is being a pricing expert, because that is part of what you pay me for. That is one of the reasons you hire me. That is one of the reasons that at least a dozen banks during the downturn of the market when they were struggling to get rid of all their assets, specifically why they hired me in order to make sure we got their pricing right on their valuations, because they didn't have time to sit on the inventory and let it just sit there forever and ever. And I'm assuming that neither do you. Now, what I used to jokingly say to people is you can price it wherever you want if you're willing to wait long enough to get it. It may take 10 years, but we can price it wherever you want, right? But the reality is most of you don't have 10 years. Most of you are looking to move on to the next chapter in your life. So we want to get it done right. We want to get it sold. We want to get the market value for it, and we want to get fair market value. So how do we do that in a seller's market? Do we leave room for negotiating? Do we price ahead of the trend? Do we price aggressively? Well, ultimately, we'll make that decision together. But here's what I want you to know about the market we're in today. The market we're in today is actually three different markets. Okay, we have one, houses that are in the market, what I consider actively in the market. Those are homes that are priced right. Those are homes that are staged and show very well. Those are homes that are accessible for real estate agents to show and to bring their buyers to. When we have those three things line up right now, homes are selling for almost 99% of asking price. They're selling within usually, honestly, less than 2 weeks. And they're being done very quick, so oftentimes with multiple offers. As a matter of fact, the last 3 or 4 listings we've had, we've priced right. They've priced where I suggested. We've gotten multiple offers on all of those within 48 hours. And what's happened is it creates almost an auction effect. It's driven price up, and they've gotten actually higher than asking price. They've done it rapidly, and they've been able to negotiate the terms that they want. On the other hand, I've had some sellers not take my advice. And when they do that, the interesting thing is the market is the market. Real estate is a commodity. It's no different than buying an apple or an orange at the grocery store. It's no different than going online and going to the stock exchange and wanting to buy a share of GM. Let's just imagine today that GM shares are priced at $75 a share. If you wanted to buy GM, you would pay $75 a share. If, on the other hand, you are a seller of GM shares, what do you think you would get for your shares? $75, right? You can ask $100 or $125 every day of the week, but the market's just simply not going to bear that. The same thing with real estate. If we price it too high, ultimately what's going to happen is this real estate market is going to ignore your house. We know this very rapidly. What happens is within these three markets, in the market I already talked about. The other market that's tricky is the no man's land market. No man's land market is where the seller is basically thinking they're doing everything right. And sometimes less experienced real estate agents think they're doing something right. And that's when foot traffic's happening. That's when we're getting people through the door. But when we know we're in no man's land is that we've had 2 weeks without a single showing, means we've missed the mark. The other option is whenever we have 10 or 11 showings and no offers, we've missed the mark. And what we know is that one of two things has happened on that. Either we've priced it too high and people are walking down the street and they're finding better value for a comparable home and they're writing offers on that home, or our condition isn't up to par. And that's where our job, again, as real estate experts, is to make sure we get the feedback so then as a team, you and I can make decisions on what adjustments we make. Do we improve the condition of the home or do we adjust the price accordingly? The third market that's going on right now is out of the market. Out of the market means we simply aren't getting any traffic at all. That means we have simply outpriced the market. We've priced too far ahead. And this real estate market right now is moving so fast with the low inventory that real estate agents are just ignoring your property. There's no point in showing it. So people that say they want to leave room for negotiation, let me warn you about that, because right now what's happening is the homes that are priced right and staged right, those homes are selling rapidly. They're selling for close to list price, if not above list price, and they're selling fast. The homes that are leaving room for negotiation and pricing above the market or above my price suggestion, what's happening is they're sitting on the market 5 times longer, oftentimes closer to 6 months. They're going through 2 or 3 price adjustments if the real estate agent even has the guts to tell them they need to adjust their price. And then they're getting only 92% of asking price. So you're losing money and taking more time. That's if the real estate agents even come back around and look at your house. The reality is, again, this market's moving fast. Real estate agents, like it or not, they're a little ADD. They see what they see right now. They're focusing on what's new on the market. They're hitting that because of the rapid pace of it, that if your house has been sitting on the market very long, they aren't even going back around and looking at it. If it wasn't priced right and staged right to begin with, and they saw at that time, it's in and out of their brain, guys. So we don't have a lot of wiggle room. But the good news for you is, because it's a seller's market right now, if we price it right, if we show it right, if we make it accessible, what's going to happen is we're going to get fair market value and maybe even get a little above asking price. So anytime you talk to a real estate agent, hopefully me, if it's here in Springfield, if it's anywhere else in the country, what I want you guys to do is make sure and really understand this market we're in, price it aggressively, try and get that auction effect, because your house is going to adjust to the market. I'll tell you, I had a person not listen to me the other day, about 7 months ago, went ahead and listed their house at $240,000. I told them it's going to be between $220,000 and $225,000. 7 months later, 3 price reductions later, we sold it for $225,000. Same thing happened with another one in Nixa. They wanted to be at $240,000 again. I said it's going to be $219,000, $220,000 every day of the week. Ended up selling for $218,000. Guys, I know my numbers. I know how this stuff works. I've been doing this for 21 years now. Sold over 1,500 homes. Done thousands of price valuations for banks. So when we sit down and talk, understand I'm not trying to take advantage of you. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just to sell below value. What I'm trying to tell you is I know this market. I know pricing. And just talk to me about it. And if it's not a good time for you to sell, I understand. I understand that, because I also want you to understand that what the real estate market does, since your home is a commodity, is they don't care what you need. They don't care what you paid for it, right? They don't care what the neighbor's house sold for. It doesn't matter what another realtor tells you. Ultimately, the real estate market determines the value of your home. Not me, not you, nobody else. So what our job is to do as your expert, as your consultant, is to look at those numbers, to advise you at the highest level we possibly can, and see if it's a good fit and a good time for you to sell your home. If you have questions, please reach out, give us a call. Our number is 417-501-4771. Again, it's 417-501-4771. If you're thinking about selling, or you know anybody that's thinking about selling their home right now, make sure they get an opinion from us before they put it on the market. Again, we may not be the right fit, but I guarantee we'll tell them the truth, and we'll do our best to be a professional and make sure they're armed with the knowledge they need to make the right decision. Thanks, guys. Look forward to talking to all of you soon.